Miss Trey. I have a fitness guru joining us today, and I cannot wait to get some tips because we are have all been in this pandemic trying to get our bodies right. So I'm gonna go ahead and join her right on in. Hello, Joel. How are you?
Great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. No complaint.
That's wonderful. So thank you for being a part of Training with Miss Trey. I am excited to sit with you and talk to you about how to get fit because we've all been in this pandemic and as you know, we've been eating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about you and how in your background and what you have going on.
So I work full time in rehab. So I work in physio and occupational therapy. So I'm working full time during the day with patients, trying to get them back on their feet in rehab and rehabilitation. So that's my daytime gig, working with the trauma patients. And then in the evening, it's my Forever Fit by Joel, where I work with do Pilates, TRX, and a combination of fitness exercises with either private, semi-private, or group classes. And I like to incorporate small equipment like TheraBands, toning balls, ankle weights, or anything you may have in your home that may, you know what I mean, that might just be able to accommodate for something you don't have. Like for a ball, I might say, just grab two 500 ml bottles, right? Because not everyone has toning balls. And I just try to simulate things that you may not have in a gym, but you may have in your home, like a chair for my bar classes instead of the ballet bar, which most people don't have right in their wall. So I just grab a chair or a stable surface and I do that. So what I try to do is just get people comfortable with the Pilates or movement in general. Some people may have never done it before. So what I might try to do is encourage people just to move, just to feel comfortable in their own body and allow it to just feel the movements. You might have stiffness in certain areas from sitting on the couch for that year or you know what I mean, half a year. So just getting you the flexibility back, breathing, just learning the importance of just movement and strengthening your body, right? In all planes of movement. And that's what I do with Forever Fit by Joel. So I'm like, it's for everybody. And I try to get it out there that it's for kids, male, female, doesn't matter your body type, doesn't matter if you've never moved before or you've never tried Pilates, because Pilates is exercise that we normally do without even thinking. It's just habitual, like lifestyle. We have to walk tall, breathing, moving, strengthening the muscles around our joints. As we get older, we have to strengthen. So it's good for people that are suffering from arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or any kind of condition, because it's good for everybody. And there's nobody that can say that they wouldn't benefit from Pilates.
That's truly amazing. That was a very much a mouthful. So let's just rewind a little bit. You said that you work in a rehab facility, correct?
Mm-hmm. So I work in
So
a
what is
rehab
that
hospital.
experience like right now in this pandemic? I know it probably was, busy consistently prior, but how was that during this pandemic and how did you have to pivot in order to assist the clients and patients that you're currently visiting?
Well, when I came back in January, because I work on a trauma floor and ideally it holds about 30 beds, right? So with the pandemic happening, came back and it was cut down to like 10 patients.
Wow.
Yeah. So, with being in a hospital setting, we're considered a lockdown when there's 3 or more patients with COVID. So going into that and just everyone kind of, worried, will they catch it? Will they not? And then being in gear. So we're also in PPE. So you're wearing face shield, you're wearing a mask, you're wearing a gown, gloves. And then also, you also don't want to scare the clients. So I'm going in there and I'm trying to do my best to try to let the patients know that they're safe, right? Because all you're seeing is eyes, basically now.
Yeah.
All right. So also, they're going through their physical rehab and whatever mental mindset that they're going through, trying to rehab, and then the pandemic hits. And then I'm going in to try to help restore them, giving them exercise to do and giving them positive energy, positive feedback that they'll be okay. So, it was a little bit challenging at first because for everybody, it's also very new to everybody, right?
Right.
And then you just need to know you can't see their face, you can't put a smile on and try, right? So you kind of just have to use those encouraging words, smile with your eyes, and yeah, help your patients get better, and like, try to encourage them that we have to keep moving. And then at the same time, what was also the challenge was that we couldn't bring patients to the therapy gym. So everyone that we had to see on the unit, you're seeing them in their rooms. So also then the fact that now they're isolated in a room, they're only seeing a yellow gown and eyeballs. And then you're trying to help them get better at the same time. So it was a bit challenging at first. It still is challenging, but not so much, because now it's been over a year and we're getting in routine and things. Now that the units opened up more because of being testing and being careful to isolate patients when they come in, so they're not in the mix with everybody else, and making sure that they're clear before we mix them. Yeah, so now being a year now, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to manage.
Wow, that's, like you say, it is hard. I can imagine it would be hard because, we are so used to be having a trainer or working out with someone and seeing their body, seeing the whole face, and knowing, getting that familiarity with them.
Yeah.
And literally now you all, like you say, all you see is eyes. Is kind of like, oh, what are we doing?
It's hard. And I even have patients saying to me, they're like, it's so sad because I've been here maybe 2 weeks or a month and I haven't seen your face.
Wow.
Wow. And I'm like,
we're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you birthed Forever Fit by Jole. Like, what made you do that, and what inspired you to start this new business and this new venture?
So I was working prior to Forever Fit by Jole. I was working in a boutique studio. So I had worked in a couple of Pilates studios prior to this. So the pandemic hit, things were closing down. I was asked many times, why don't you start your own business? And you're just always there. Well, for me, it was just easy routine. You get locked into that routine of going to your full-time job, just showing up at a studio, seeing clients, and then you go home. You don't think about it anymore. So it was just like, can I do this? Can I really have my own business all the time? And then the pandemic hit and gyms are closed, Pilates studios closed. People are like, and I'm thinking, how do I keep my clients or friends physically fit? How do I motivate them? And, I was fearful of virtual myself. I'm not a tech person, but then I was just like, you know what? This is the way the world's going. It's the only thing that's consistent, because the gyms are opening, then they're closing, then they're opening, then they're closing. Virtual, it's something that can be consistent, and it's something that I can, also, it was kind of like, this is my journey, this is my new path, right? It was just like a mindset. This is my calling now, right? It was just like a clicked for me that now is the time, right? Sometimes you just need that push. And I think it was COVID and the lockdown, and just even me normally going to the gym and working out all the time, for me, it was kind of a downer as well, and it was winter when it happened too. So imagine it's dark outside, it's cold, the gyms are closed, I can't see my clients, and now virtual, and then a name. And I was always like Forever Fit, I wanted something that was forever. It's not something that's temporary. It's not something that you just work out to go on a vacation or look good in a bikini. It's something I want you to think of as a lifestyle change, something you would take with you till whenever, and that's where that Forever Fit by Jole came from. So basically I had an open space like here. I got my laptop together, webcam, and I got some friends together, and I said, let's start. Let me just start doing it. Let me get over my fear. Let me just run some trial and error with a couple clients that had knew me from before. And yeah, it all blossomed from there. And it's still blossoming, because, you keep adding on, right? Because you gain the website together and just starting, and people are always like, I'm a perfectionist. Always like, what about this? What about that? And everyone's like, just start. Right? And once I started, it just kind of like, it started to feel more and more comfortable, right? Being on camera. Because I was like, how are people going to perceive me? You know, a lot of people were kind of hesitant. I don't know, really a virtual learner. How am I going to learn Pilates through virtual? And then I think people are now realizing that, you know, this is becoming to be the more of the norm now, doing virtual, if you want to do something consistent, right? And keep your fitness. And some people just need that motivation, right? So it's now it's even more convenient, because if you're working from home, you don't have to think about, you know, childcare, or I won't be able to get dinner ready. You just run into your other room, put on the Zoom, and there you go, right? So
Right. So for a woman that has been sitting on her couch in a pandemic, has never worked out, and now has to work out because she's eating, what is that first step that you would, you know, tell them? What is that encouragement that you would give them? And what are the ways that you would tell them to, you know, start small, or, you know, however that process may be?
I usually say, you know, for someone that's never, it's hard to tell them you need to move. I usually
Mhm.
say, what is your goal, right? Something as simple as, Joel, I want to fit into those skinny jeans, right? Straight to anything that motivates you. So if that's your goal, how are we going to get there? What needs to be put in place? Do you think this sitting on the couch is going to get you there? No. Do you think like ordering in every day is going to get you there? No, right? So it's like taking little steps. So starting with your goals, and you have to, it's all about mindset. Like I could say that I want to run 20K tomorrow, but is it realistic? So I have to think about what is going to get me there. So what steps do I have to take in place? So that's why I would tell anybody that asked me, how do I get moving? So I was like, what is your goal? Your goal may not mean, you might, I want to have to lose weight, but you might have to, I want more energy. I feel lethargic. I want to fit into this outfit. I want to eventually go on vacation, my vacation in Europe or wherever. It requires a lot of walking. I want to be able to, you know, so then it's like stronger, just even feeling better once you get moving. So go for a walk. Now that the weather's getting better, I just encourage everybody, because even for me, getting out there, this is the most amount of walking I've done since pandemic, because now you're thinking about, what trail can I do today? You know, before I was like, hey, let me just hit the rooftop in this hotel on the weekend. Now I'm like, so let's go to this trail, let's go to that trail. And when I'm walking, I don't even think about it. Before at the end of our walk, I'm like, we walked 3 hours, we did 15K or 20K. So that's what I usually tell anybody that hasn't moved in a while. I'm like, you know, let's just go for a walk. Go to if you're in Toronto, or there, I just know I'm in Toronto. I was like, places, there's different many trails that just take your mind off it. It's nature, you smell fresh air. Just do that. Start with that, and then start by doing gentle range of motion movements, you know, because stiffness also discourages you from doing exercise, because you're stiff, you're tight in your hips. So flexibility, just moving in all planes, stretching in the morning, walking, and then gradually build up, then starting to build some muscle, right? Who doesn't want nice toned body, right? Right? So I just like try to be realistic. So I'm like, we're humans, right? It's not hard. It's hard to say get up and start moving if you're not an exercise person, but most people like the outdoors, like to see nature, like to see other people when you're in lockdown all this time, you're not seeing anybody but virtual. So just seeing faces just encourages you, you know? So that's what I usually tell people.
Well, that is a good, you know, something to note, because I know that's probably a lot of people's resistance with working out is the getting started part. That's usually the hardest part, because once you get started, and probably like a week, 2 weeks in, you're kind of like, okay, I got the feel of it. I'm getting the rhythm. Like, let me keep this going, because now I'm seeing how it's changing my body. Whether, like you say, it be more energy, or you might start seeing a little bit something. You know,
Exactly.
so I do agree with you that the start is the hardest part. So when you meet new clients, do you cater to their, of course, to their needs, but is it more so a diet, a workout? How does that process look like?
So I'll have a conversation with you, because I want to work with what your goals are. because they're not
Mhm.
my goals, they're yours, right? So
Right.
you come to me and you say, Joel, first of all, find out if you have any physical limitations, right? So that's the first and foremost. And if you do, are you cleared? And once that's done, then yes, you'll tell me whether it's strengthening, whether you just want to, then I usually cater my activities or my exercise program to you to fit your needs. And we usually go every class. It changes. It could change, or
Okay.
you know what I mean? So I like to have that conversation, that feedback throughout the session with the clients, in and after, even prior, in between, because I want to know how you feel, how you're adapting, if you like it, if you don't like it, how your body feels afterwards. And then I can know whether to build on or stay there or take it back a notch, right? Because the main thing is I want you to learn the fundamentals, right? Understand why we're doing the exercises, if you're doing it correctly, if you understand how to do it correctly, because we
Right.
want to prevent injury, right? We're not trying to do things that your body does not like, right? So that's the main thing. I try to always let people know, talk to me, let me know. I don't care, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Let me know. If you were doing an exercise, the first thing I said, where do you feel it? Because these are the muscles we're working, we should be feeling it here. If you're saying if it's pulling your back, then I know that's something you're not doing correctly, or I'm not cueing properly, because the whole virtual thing, there's no tactile, right? So I have to make sure that I'm giving you verbal cues that you get it.
Right.
So I keep cueing until you click. Oh, I got it, right? When you said this, it clicked for me. So that's how I usually cater my classes for my privates. For the group session, that's the group session. I usually encourage clients to email me after, or even call me
Right.
after, because in the group class you don't have the opportunity to stop and so afterwards, if there was something you didn't get, hey, just call me, because I always tell people it's a free consultation. Just talk to me, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you reach your goals, and I don't want you to think that it's my goal. Because sometimes clients are like, what do you want me to do? I want to work with you. Like, we're a team.
Mhm.
You communicate with me. I can address your needs, whether we're going to use whatever equipment you have in your home. Let's make it work.
That sounds great. So, I know you hear so many excuses of why people haven't gotten started or why they stopped. But I know, like, one thing that we're now dealing with, because we are in a pandemic, and the gyms are open and closing, and people don't know if they're safe. What are some things that maybe we can get in the store that we can still be able to work out, and it's not getting a bike that costs $3,000?
Oh
What are
yeah,
some things that we can get from the store? And it's some small things, or even not necessarily from the store, some things that we may not think of at the house that we can actually work out and build our bodies.
So like I was saying, you mat, so you basic yoga mat or Pilates mat. You can get that. You can order that online. I use a broomstick. I just bought a broomstick from the dollar store as a pole, a Pilates pole, which
Oh,
I help. Yeah. So that for gliders, if you don't have gliders, a towel. I always tell people, you have an old towel that you use to maybe polish your car. We can use that on a hardwood floor, and that can give you a great workout with the gliders. If you have hardwood or smooth surface, you don't need to use that. Weights for dumbbells, you can use cans. I use soup cans with patients, or whatever cans they have, bottled water. One of my clients actually uses candles as her weights.
wow.
Yeah, heavy candles as her weights, because she doesn't have any and she wasn't able to get out to. You can also get what are they called? Some people call them flex band or
Mm-hmm.
TheraBands or the booty bands.
Mm-hmm.
Most places are now restocking, so that's pretty easy to get, whether on Amazon. And honestly, those bands are like magic. You can use them for so many different exercises, and they're actually better than dumbbells for a lot of things, because you can
Mm-hmm.
just get a long piece and use that one piece, arms, legs, wrap them around, tie them. And I even take them on vacation prior to COVID. I just throw that in my luggage and you just go. You're at the office, you just strengthen your arms. You can, you know what I mean? So that's a great piece of equipment that you can buy that's very inexpensive, right? You can buy a package of them for like $20. So stuff
That's
like that.
amazing.
And then a chair. So I use the chair for my bar class. I also
Oh,
use
yeah.
a chair to put feet up to do planks or squats. And that's something that almost everyone has in their house, a chair, right? A good sturdy chair.
Well, Joel has said it. You have no excuse why you can't work out.
Yeah, it's all
You
about
have
the
no
mindset.
excuse. And it's also the mindset. You have to have the mindset that you want to change your body. And like you said originally, it's not a temporary fix, it's a lifestyle change. So as long as you go in with that mindset, then she has given you the game plan to get it going. So before we wrap it up here, is there anything that you would like to add or let my audience know about you and your classes and how to go about, registering with your classes?
So you can reach me at Forever Fit by Jole. That's the website. You won't find the private on there, but you can also email me at foreverfitbyjole@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram. My website links to my Instagram account. So there's some exercises you could see. You could see what I do. You should kind of have a little bit of familiarity with me. And then, yeah, email me if you have any concerns. I'm free consultation. I do private, semi-private group classes, any small equipment, and then any questions you may have, just email me.
Well, thank you so much, Joel, for being a part of Trending with Miss Trey. I am so excited to have you a part. And if you have any exclusives, don't be afraid to stop by and let us know what you have going on. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
You have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.